All right, Shalom. Call hello Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Hasham Rakah Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, great millstone, who I learned the truth from. They're the real prophets of all Israel in these end times, showing us the correct way to salvation. Shalom to you, elders and apostles of great millstone. I'm not officially a part of the camp. I will say that I learned strictly under their teachings, as I recognize them through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hasham Yahushai to be the correct teachers and the leaders of all Israel in these end times, and the ones who the Lord truly sent, okay? And the ones that the Lord is truly dealing with. Shalom to you, Akwaf in order, meaning you Israelite sisters that are in order is very important. And shalom to you, Israelites scattered abroad. It may look like these other nations. Shalom to you, brothers on the highways and hedges too. Let me not forget. Go out there, giving up your body as a living sacrifice, being obedient to your calling, which is to be a prophet in these end times of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Shalom to you, brothers, man. All right, just Lord willing, a quick one. I just want to speak briefly on this topic of this trade war, this tariff war that's going on, right? Which that alone goes into that scripture in the book of Matthew chapter 24, where it speaks about wars and rumors of wars, right? Because a trade war is a war within itself. And, you know, this tariff war is kicking America's ass, man. And I want to speak briefly on that. And I'm going to show you a few clips that let you know and pretty much showing you evidence that America is turning into a third world country if it isn't already, man. I would say that it is already, all right? The homelessness rate in America is through the roof. You know, the poverty in America is crazy. People are bugged out of their minds, okay? The violence, the confusion, the chaos, the disorder, it's just America's through, man. And there ain't no bouncing back for America, man. You ain't making America great again. America's through, man. But first of all, before I bring out any precepts, I want to show you this clip here. Right, let me share my screen before I forget. I always do that. Right, check this out. I'm going to show you this. I don't know how much of it I'm going to play. We'll see. It's about 11 minutes long, I believe. But this shows you that all these people that voted for Trump, man, they're starting to regret it because now it's kicking their ass. You know, the Trump, what is it? The Trump honeymoon period is over, man. Okay. And we try to tell people that you can't trust in this devil, okay? Because he's an Edomite at the end of the day. You can't trust an Edomite. Scriptures say, never trust thine enemy, right? Sirach, 12 and 10? But these people that put their faith in this man, Donald Trump, are now starting to F around and find out, right? So check this out. Lord willing, you can hear this and it comes out clear and everything.
There isn't a red or blue America when a president's policies wipe out what you see here, part of the $6 trillion losses in days. Everyone loses. Trump's flailing trade war, that backlash is broad. From the bankers and CEOs I mentioned and quoted some here at the top of the show, to political leaders in both parties. Plus this weekend's protest, which tapped into the wider anger there. You can see the sad emoji with a crashing retirement account and the failed policies that those protesters say are hurting Americans and small businesses in real time. Now, then there are still many people who, of course, avoid traditional credentialed press.
Right. And speaking on that, the protests going on around the world, mainly in America, but in pretty much every state, right? You've got protests going on. And I want to quickly pull up a precept or two on that. So let me quickly grab that, because this is part of biblical prophecy, and this tariff war is intensifying this particular prophecy, man, that the scriptures said would happen, right? Bear with me just 2 seconds while I pull this out. It shouldn't take long. 2nd Ezra's 9. I'm going to switch to standard KJV. All right, let me share my screen real quick. Before I forget. So I read this all the time, but there are maybe some that don't know this. This is 2nd Ezra's 9:1. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before," right? We measure the time through the prophecies. This is how we measure the time diligently in itself. It says, "Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made," right? So the world is being visited by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai by plagues, uh, chaos, natural disasters, all kinds of things. A lot of judgment going out, you know what I mean? A lot of bad things are happening in these end times. And it's become clear that we're in the end times because the Lord is visiting the world which he made. And this is it right here. You're reading it. So, verse 3, right? And this is the point. It says, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world," it says, "then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning," right? So the point is that now we're living in a time, the end times, where we're seeing earthquakes, but we're also seeing uproars of the people, and that's these protests, man. These people are not happy over Trump's tariff war, you know what I mean? And it's kicking the ass of these everyday Americans, man. The food prices are going up, the cost of all kinds of goods are going up, and they're talking about April 10th, which is tomorrow, that um basically we're going to start to feel, well, America's going to start to feel the effects of that trade war. I think that's when it kicks in as far as China goes, right? That tariff war. Because all the goods from China, the prices are about to go sky high, and a lot of the things that America purchases is produced in China. Okay, so therefore, China pretty much has America in a trick bag because that trade war, that tariff war is, it might hurt China somewhat, but they they always seem to be a step ahead of these average Americans, right? Now, let me just show you something real quick. Check this out. Check this clip out right here and pay attention because this guy can break it down better than I can. All right, check this out.
China legalizing the counterfeiting of American goods is the trade tariff version of a draw for Uno out. China is giving the middle finger to intellectual property, and it's not just about handbags. When it comes to name brands you associate with high quality American goods like Nike, Apple, Disney, this is the nuclear option. And I'll give you 3 things about it. Thing number 1, this is the direct result of Trump's stupid trade war. Earlier this week, China responded to Trump's blanket tariff with a retaliatory tariff of 34% on American goods. Then yesterday, Trump threatened to add an additional tariff of 50% to China. Turns out, China had the Trump card in their back pocket the whole time, legally sanctioning pirating. Headlines for at least the last year have been screaming American businesses pulling out of China due to unfair practices. Now it's like China is saying, "Oh, you're leaving? We'll just make all your shit ourselves." Thing number 2, this is going to be yet another massive blow to American jobs and the American economy. Think about the designers, engineers, and factory workers who pour their heart into making high quality American goods. Now their hard work is being shamelessly ripped off with Beijing's seal of approval. We're talking about a potential tsunami of cheap, inferior goods flooding international markets, undercutting legitimate businesses and further hollowing America's manufacturing industry. The very thing Trump supposedly set out to revive. Thing number 3, this is a clear sign of the global power vacuum created by Donald Trump. When you alienate allies and cozy up to autocrats, this is the type of respect you get. Our standing in the world is plummeting faster than the Dow Jones. This isn't just about trade, it's about the erosion of the rule of law and emboldening those who seek to undermine democratic values. This is a very dangerous precedent, and frankly, it's terrifying. As always, if you like this kind of content, like, follow, and share, and be sure to click on the link in my bio and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Major League TV.
So there you have it, man. Basically, by America putting tariffs on China, right? China's like smarter than America thinks, because they basically said, all right, F your tariffs. You know what I mean? We're gonna build American products ourselves. We don't need your products, because America don't really produce a lot of things anyway. They're more importers than exporters, man. Because America, they send their work over to these other countries to basically work for cheap labor, like building iPhones and Nike shoes and all that, right? But they're like, we've got the skills, we've got the technology, we've got the the labor force. We can do it ourselves. We don't need America, So that's another scripture that comes to mind. The scriptures say, let the weak say I am strong. And that's what's going on, man. This is part of that. These other countries saying I am strong. And basically this tariff war is backfiring on America hard, man. Let me bring out a precept or two on that real quick, right? Because the book of Isaiah chapter 47 really goes into it. One sec. Let me add that to the stage. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 47, and this is talking about America, man. America's downfall, and we're witnessing it, man. It says, Isaiah 47:1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. The virgin daughter of Babylon is America, and the dust represents confusion. So America's in a state of confusion because it's through. Everyone knows America's through, man. And, there ain't no bouncing back. And these people don't know what hit them, okay? They always thought America was the land of the free, home of the brave, and it was always going to be great. And now, pure confusion. What the hell is going on? Everybody's just confused, right? It says, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, which is also America. It says, another name for America, should I say. It says, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. America's through, man. Okay, a third world country, so to speak. And the scriptures speak about it. The Lord is basically saying that this is what's going to happen. And now we're living in a time where we're witnessing it, man. The fall of Babylon the Great. Next verse, Isaiah 47:2. It says, take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers, right? So basically that's about going into America being exposed, right? It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Same thing. It says, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So the Lord is against America. For all those trying to make America great again, we got to pray for America. We need to bounce back. We need to make trying to recover America, man. America is not going to be revived. America is through. Okay, that's why scriptures say, forsake her, for her sins have reached into the heavens, man. The scriptures speak about that too, right? Let me quickly pull that up, because I want to prove these things as I go along for them that may not know. Forsake her. I forget which precept it is, but it shouldn't be hard to find. Yeah, there it is. Right. So this is Jeremiah 51:9. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Third world country coming, right? It says, forsake her, right? And let us go everyone into his own country. And you know, a lot of people are fleeing America because they know that America's through. They know that the economy is crashing. You know what I mean? So they're trying to escape America. So you got people going to their own country, and it would be wise for you to leave America. Although I will say that isn't going to protect you from judgment. The only safe place really is, you know, getting yourself cleaned up, you know, through the spirit and power and under the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? So repenting is and fleeing from America mentally is the safest place. Okay. But it would be wise to leave the country because it's about to get absolutely ugly in that country, right? It says we would have healed Babylon. And this is the Lord mocking America because America ain't gonna be healed. It's like I would have healed you, but you know, you chose. You know, that's like saying, hey, I could have helped you, bro, but you did, you know, you didn't listen. Right? So he would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. So you know the sins of the Lord, the sins. Salakia, the sins of America have reached unto the Lord, man, unto heaven, right? And the Lord have remembered her iniquities, right? There's another precept that speaks on that. It's basically a precept to this. So America is through. You know, there's no healing America. Let's go back to let's go back to Isaiah 47 real quick, because there's more meat on this I want to get to, right? So the Lord says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance. So the Lord is going to destroy America. And it says, and I will not meet thee as a man, because the Lord is coming back with the thousands of heaven. He's coming back as an angelic force, right? He's coming back in the fathership, man. It says in Isaiah 47:4, as for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. The true name of the Lord, right? It says, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. America is going to be, it's prophesied that America is going to be a third world country, and it pretty much is already, man. Okay, because I'm going to show you a few clips on the comparisons of other countries compared to America in this day and age, man. Okay, and you're gonna be pretty shocked for the because a lot of people in America, they don't know a lot about other countries, man, because their government keeps them in ignorance and makes them think that it's all about America. You know, the scriptures talk about in the book of Obadiah where Esau says, I am and none else beside me, right? They think it's all about, yeah, America, home of the brave and this and that, and you know, all these other countries are just third world countries, as Trump likes to call them, shithole countries, right? How's that turning out for you now, America? Looks like you're turning into the shithole country that you was saying these brown countries were. Okay. Never forget, America, that the only way you became great was through the bloodshed of brown people and the rape, robbing, and pillaging of the resources of brown countries. It's the only way you Edomites became great. Okay. So now you're basically running out of bread. You're wandering abroad saying, where is it? All right. And you know what I mean? Now your true form is starting to show, which is a scumbag. America's ghetto, because now the true form of America is being revealed. The you know, anywhere Edomites dwell, really, pretty much, man. Other than, you know, some parts of Russia, because I got a clip that I'm going to show you that shows you that Russia is doing a lot better than America, man. It says, I was wroth with my people, so the Lord was pissed off with his people. It says, I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand, right? So the Lord gave us into the hands of the Edomites. That's why they rule over us. Not that they're stronger, because we all know Edomites ain't stronger than us, mentally, physically, spiritually, or anything, man. So the Lord punished us by putting these devils over us, right? It says, thou didst show them no mercy, and upon the ancient hast thou verily heavily laid thy yoke. So the Lord didn't have no mercy on the young or the aged, right? It says, and saidst, I shall be a lady forever. And now, so I'm always going to be great. Yeah, America's always going to be great. And now, what's the slogan? Make America great again. Because they're not great anymore, man, and they know it. They're through. It says, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. So, Esau, you didn't realize that eventually you're going to have to pay for all the things you did, man. You know what I mean? You raped, robbed, and pillaged everything, and this is how you became great. And it was not blessed. The riches you swallowed down is not going to sit quietly in your belly. You're going to vomit that back up, man. Okay? Because it was got unjustly. It says, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, America. It says that dwellest carelessly, right? Because they're very wasteful. They just have an overabundance of riches, and you know what I mean? It's a big ass wasteful country, man. It says that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Okay, I thought that was Obadiah, but it's actually here in Isaiah. So basically, America thinks that it's all about them, right? They keep their people, their citizens in ignorance as far as the status of these other countries, right? They keep America thinking it's all about them, and all these other countries are shithole countries, right? As Donald Trump quotes, right? So they say, I am and none else beside me. It says, I shall not sit a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. It says, but these two things shall come upon thee in a moment, in one day, right? Because America is prophesied to be destroyed from coast to coast in 1 hour by ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. Nukes. America's going to be nuked. This is why it's very wise for you to flee that country. Although, like I said, you're not gonna escape your judgment. Okay? Because ultimately you heathen are going in chains, and you 2/3 Israelites are gonna be destroyed, man. No matter where you dwell in the earth, man. Because you got to think about it. When America gets destroyed by these nukes, the whole earth is going to shake. That's the violence, the amount of violence America is going to be overthrown with, man. This prophesied to shake the whole earth. So America is going out with a big ass bang, right? And these small islands are going to be moved out of their places. If you're living in Jamaica, if you flee to Jamaica, hey, you got tsunamis to look forward to. You know what I mean? Earth and a worldwide earthquake that's going to be on a scale, a magnitude that this world has never seen, man. That it's going to shake the whole earth. Okay, so all these cities are coming down. All these skyscrapers, they're coming down. We're going to be turning to rubble, all right? And then we're going to have the heathen clean that up. It says, they shall come. Let me read it from the top again. Isaiah 47:9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. It says, they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it have perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. See? It's all about America, right? Shithole countries, yeah? Okay. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, which is, part of their confusion. They're like, what the hell happened? We were great a minute ago. We had it going on. It was Kurt Cobain and Green Day, and life was good for an Edomite back then in them days. Now all of a sudden America is through, man. Full of confusion, right? It says, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, right? Because the Lord says that he will, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks. You know, and this is one of the punishments of the Edomites, right? Where am I? Let me see if I can pull that up. Oh god, I spelled that wrong. Let me see if I can. Let's do that again. Remove neck. Devise evil neck. Let's see if that works. Bear with me, Slack here. There we go. It's Book of Micah. That's right. Right. So let's start from the first verse. Let's view chapter. It's Micah 2 and 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds," which is talking about the Edomites, right? The elites of the Edomites. It says, "When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands." So these people, all they know to do is practice evil and wickedness, and you know they're artists at making your life hard, man. They've got it down to an art, right? Because it's given into their hands, meaning Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. These people possess the power of the earth, and they possess the power to push wickedness in the earth, right? So the Lord says, woe unto them, you know, and the main place of their wickedness is America, man. So America is going to be destroyed by the Lord. The Lord ain't dealing with America. It's the reason for all problems in the earth, man. They're the terrorists of the whole world, right? Micah 2 and 2, it says, "And they covet fields," right? So they desire other people's land. It says, "And take them by violence." Who's known to do that? The so-called white man, you know, and you know, they rule from America. This is how they do it, man. From America mainly, right? And the UK. It says, "And take them by violence, and houses, and take them away." So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And they're doing the same. These Edomites are doing the same thing in Israel right now, man. Proving that they're Israel. If you have some sort of a spiritual head about you, you can see this is talking about the same people and their same characteristics, right? It says, "Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family, the Edomites," right? Mainly talking about America, right? It says, "Against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks." So these people are through, man. The Lord has got them in a trick bag, in a situation that they're not going to get out of. They're not going to bounce back and make America great again. It says, "Neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil." Haughtily means proud. So these people's pride is being brought low because America used to be, yeah, fuck yeah, America, yeah, we're the best. Now, hey, we're hearing crickets. It says, "For this time is evil." And you know damn well this is an evil time we're living in. So let me read this from the top again. It says, "Therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off." Right? You're not going to be able to remove your neck from this evil that's coming. It says, "And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know." And that's coming from them ICBM nuclear missiles, man, during the midst of Jacob's trouble, which is when the dollar crashes. Because when that dollar crashes, which is going to crash because it's biblical prophecy, but when that dollar crashes, the whole world will feel it, right? Let's go back to this video real quick. because I'm kind of all over the place. I didn't mean for it to go like this, but hang in there. You'll see where I'm going.
This is what CNBC looks like if you turn it on the screen here, but people may not see that kind of news coverage of the tanking markets. There are people who consume alternative, younger media, that's as a cultural matter, or what you've heard about, some of these MAGA-friendly podcasts and streaming shows, and that's a political matter. And a different set of voices rules.
One bite everybody knows was a volley. 7-7. Good, solid.
Most companies have all these
7-7. That's kind of spiritual. That's the magnitude of the earthquake that Philippines just experienced. But ignore that pizza part, man. I don't know why they put that in there. It don't make no damn sense. But it's gonna get to the point in a sec, man. Because these MAGA maniacs, they're starting to feel it and they're starting to regret their vote, man. You know what I mean? They're not so proud anymore. The Lord's bringing low the haughtiness of these people, man.
these different requirements, and they're openly allowed to discriminate against especially heterosexual white men.
The attempt to feminize men is ongoing on the left.
Check out this rapper. Let me know your honest thoughts.
I think it's incredible.
Through. That's my thoughts. Through. Anyway.
I think it's incredible.
That's from one of the streaming shows there. And a Tesla Cyber Beast retails for about $100,000. The young man you see there, Aiden Ross, would have a harder time buying one now. Now, he's supported Trump and even scored a coveted interview, but he now complains with the tariff crash that he's losing money, that he feels, quote, poor after all this, which is part of a wider backlash from MAGA podcasters and streamers. And let's be clear, many of them speak to their audience in an unfiltered, authentic way in real time. That's part of what draws their audience. Now, they have MAGA credentials. I'm showing you, they have this past talk about supporting Trump's promise for the country, but many of them are now sharing with their huge audiences, which can number in the millions or tens of millions in the case of Rogan, who I showed earlier. Well, many of the ones you're about to see, they're sharing concern, panic, confusion, and even disgust over the cost of Trump's flailing trade war.
Yeah, I'm voting for Trump. Trump has put his tariffs all over the place. I've been trying to understand them. I don't, and everything's in the because of it. Donald Trump just cost me $20 million or whatever he did. Maybe don't be on the golf course.
Everyone in this room, everyone loves you. And I just want to say you're a true hero for this country. I don't know how many of you guys are invested in crypto or stocks. What the is going on with our country? Guys, why am I poor?
Because Donald Trump is the nominee.
See? Pure confusion, man. Sit in the dust, okay? The dust represents confusion. And this is what you're witnessing, man. These people are confused because they're great. Donald Trump was a great white hope, man. He was the one that was going to make America great again, so to speak, right? And now the honeymoon period's over, okay?
Against Joe Biden. I won't just vote for him. I will walk over broken glass to vote for him. His giant tariff policy that he just dropped on the market unilaterally, probably unconstitutionally.
This is a vivid demonstration of very well-known prominent Trump fans, whether they're in your feeds, as they say, or not, going through their own personal experience of the harm of these Trump economic policies as their viewers watch. And this shows how the medium is still the message. That younger viewers might see their favorite commentator reacting to the markets in real time, kind of like a popular YouTube reaction videos, or sometimes there'll be a video of someone cooking or a dog doing a trick and then someone else reacts. That's how some people are getting these bad market updates, learning how bad things are in reality. And it is hard to dismiss these last 5 days as some, quote, snowflake old media conspiracy when very MAGA-friendly new media are live streaming their pain.
Donald Trump just cost me $20 million or whatever he did.
What the is going on with our country?
Maybe don't be on the golf course.
Guys, why am I poor?
Now losing 20 million means you have more than 20 million. Trump's richest backers are losing even more. The tech titans from the inauguration, who had criticized Trump before, remember, who had given public warnings about exactly the type of governing failures we've been seeing now, they're down tens of billion with a B. The one who lost the most has actually been the most involved. Musk on the right losing over $100 billion in the past few months alone. It's hard to even get your head around the numbers.
Through, man. Absolutely through. So, you know, this tariff war is going to affect the poor. Don't get me wrong. But these Edomites have more to lose. These Edomites have got a lot more to lose than these Jakes, man. Jake is used to poverty. These Edomites, when they're losing their billions, yeah, they're still rich. Don't get me wrong. But they ain't used to them type of losses. They ain't used to hardship. They ain't used to, thinking they're secure, and then all of a sudden, boom, oh shit, you know, things are not going so well for us now. They ain't used to that type of mentality. So anyway, I got a few clips I want to show you, right? Because this is going into how America is basically a third world country now, compared to a lot of other countries that they used to call shithole countries, man. Check this out, one sec.
Станция Комсомольская. Переход на кольцевую линию. Выход к железнодорожной платформе Каланчевская и вокзалам Ленинградскому, Ярославскому и Казанскому. Уважаемые пассажиры, в вагоне поезда держитесь за поручни. Осторожно, двери закрываются.
Bro, I gotta play that again, man. For those of you that may not have caught that, check the difference. Check the difference between America and Russia. You know, and this is the type of thing they don't show you on television. That's why the scriptures say that they say in their heart, I am, and none else beside me. Because they keep Americans in ignorance, thinking that there's no life outside of America. We have everything. You don't need to go anywhere. Stay here. Stay here and pay taxes, right? Check this out, man. Because the difference is like black and white, man. I mean, when you saw Russia's train station, you don't see no trash. You barely see any dirt, man. Everything's just shiny and new. Damn near look like the kingdom or something, man. You know, and actually, I take that back, because that's actually an insult. The kingdom is going to be way better than anything you can imagine. Okay, so no matter how prestige the subway system looks in Russia, just understand that it ain't got nothing on the kingdom of heaven, man. Okay, and that should motivate you. That should excite you, man. Check this out.
Станция Комсомольская. Переход на кольцевую линию. Выход к железнодорожной платформе Каланчевская и вокзалам Ленинградскому, Ярославскому и Казанскому. Уважаемые пассажиры, в вагоне поезда держитесь за поручни. Осторожно, двери закрываются.
I mean, check the architecture. America, you're looking pretty stupid right now, man. God damn. Anyway, that ain't it. I got more, man. Right? So let's check out the streets of Japan, right? Check this out.
This is the cleanest country in the world, where there are no trash cans or street sweepers. And yes, it's Japan. Here, cleanliness isn't enforced. It's embraced through discipline and respect. People carry their trash until they find a rare public bin or simply take it home. Japan has a strict waste sorting system. Different types of trash go into specific bags and are collected only on designated days. Miss the schedule? You'll have to wait. Even the garbage trucks here are spotless, washed daily with their tires wiped down before hitting the road. Sanitation workers in Japan are highly respected and well paid, following rigorous standards. Even cement mixers look brand new thanks to regular cleaning. This level of cleanliness isn't just about rules. It's a reflection of a culture that values responsibility and respect for shared spaces. Japan shows us that true order begins with the individual. If you're not following Valergy, you're probably never going to see us again. If you are, then congratulations. You're growing every day.
So you see that, you know, Japan, they're highly, you know, they have high morals, them people, man. The Japanese, which are biblically known as the Moabites, right? I mean, the Ammonites, Salakia. So Ammon, Ammon is clean, right? Their streets are clean. You know, their cities look nice. You know, not, like I said, nothing compared to the kingdom of heaven, but in this world, they're showing that their standards are a lot higher than America, man. So when you compare America to these other countries, that they have you make you believe that these other countries, there's nothing there that we ain't got. Okay, well they've got cleanliness, and they probably got a way less homelessness rate, right? But check out America. I'll show you the American streets, right? Boy, it's a sad sight to see, man. But this is, you know, this is what America's becoming. And I won't say that this is every place in America, because there are some places in America that are quite nice. Okay. But this shouldn't be happening. You can see that, you know, America has a serious problem, man. America is becoming a third world country. Okay. Because if a ruler was righteous, man, then they would have policies in place where you won't see stuff like this. I mean, look at the state of the streets, for example. That fence is all broken up and bent up and through. Telephone poles and wires everywhere. That's just tacky as hell. You know what I mean? Look at the pavement, all busted up, trip hazard, trash everywhere. Through, man. The buildings are dirty. And that's just in this image you're seeing here. So, you know, America is just, you know, it don't know what it's doing, because these people put trust. Let me bring that out real quick. All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 25 and 19. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. You know, and a broken A broken tooth, right, is basically a way of saying a toothache, right? Because if you have a broken tooth, you're guaranteed to have a toothache. And a toothache is one of the worst pains ever. It's unbearable, right? And a foot out of joint, I don't know what that feels like, but I can imagine that's unbearable too. You have to walk on your foot. So you're going to be constantly in pain. It's going to be unbearable, right? But the Lord is comparing this, the unbearableness of a toothache and a foot out of joint, to putting faith in an confidence in an unfaithful man in the time of trouble. And that's what these people did when they voted and put their trust in Donald Trump, man, because this is a time of trouble for America. But they put their confidence in Donald Trump, and he's failed them miserably because he's another Edomite, and all Edomites ever do is lie. The Bible even says this, man. Let me bring that out, man. What is it? Here we go. Psalms 58:3. That's it. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 58, verse 3. It says, "The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies." So they're born liars, man. The Bible says they don't know how to tell the truth. And the wicked is talking about the so-called white man, starting with the elites, okay? And like I say in the beginning of my lessons, it's not all so-called white people. I have to throw that in there as a reminder for those that may be thinking that I'm saying one thing, but then again saying another thing. No, okay? Just you pay attention, right? So you do have so-called white people that do go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because not all so-called white people are Edomites. Some of them, not a lot, but some are Israelites. So the wicked, which is the so-called white man predominantly, right? It says are estranged from the womb. They're estranged, man, meaning they go off. They don't know the right way. They aren't godly people, okay? It says they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. As soon as these people came into power, right? They went out and deceived the nations, man. When they came out the bottomless pit, which is Europe. So they came into power through Alexander the Great, and the world was quiet before them because they did so much killing of these brown countries, right? That they depopulated the earth majorly, which they're about to do again through starvation and war, which is biblical prophecy that is coming. But the point being that these people are natural born liars. You cannot trust them. So let's go back to this scripture right here, precept. It says, confidence in an unfaithful man, a liar, right? Because Donald Trump, before he came into office, he was given all these promises of what he was going to do, and it was just music to these Edomites' ears. And he did come through with some of them. But most of the things he was saying was just hot air. He was telling them what they wanted to hear so that he can get in office. And this is what everybody does. Because they control who's going to be elected, man. Presidents are selected, not elected, man. They all have a similar motive, a similar agenda, right? Because they all work for the small hats, those fake JEWs, man. They all have to go up to Jerusalem and hump the wall at some point in their career. But they're the face of America for a specific purpose, right? Everybody that is selected has a specific purpose. You had Obama. He wasn't an Israelite, although the nation of Israel thought that he was an Israelite when he was really a Hamite, because they ain't putting no Israelite in office. Okay, they're not doing that. And they all had the same agenda. Obama basically had an agenda to cause mad confusion by, putting LGBT in overdrive, right? That flourished during his time, right? And then you had Biden. He basically let all the immigrants into the country when they thought he was just a bumbling fool, right? But he had a specific role to play, a specific agenda. He was supposed to flood America with immigrants so that Trump could come in and say enough is enough. Let's deport them, which was music to these Edomites' ears, right? After they'd been put in, so they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, these immigrants. Oh, they just molested a little girl or whatever, which when you let that many people in, you're going to get violence. And it don't matter if you had a whole bunch of Edomites flood in another country, you're going to have Edomites that are going to commit the same type of crimes, right? Because it's just man is wicked, right? But Trump came in office and said, all right, we're gonna get these immigrants out. We're gonna get these immigrants out, and we're gonna put them in prisons, which is gonna give us more slave labor, more free labor, right? Which is a business. That was their agenda the whole time. They didn't let them immigrants in because they didn't know what they were doing or they made a mistake. No, they knew exactly what they were doing. It was calculated. You got to understand, Esau is a cunning hunter and a liar and a deceiver. Just like they had that pandemic, which the whole purpose of that was for you to stick out your arm, right? And get poisoned, right? That was the whole agenda. Now people are falling for their tricks, the wiles of the devil again, because Biden let them into the country for later on. They had it all planned for later on for Trump to come in and say, all right, let's round them up, put them in prisons, get some free labor, and we can also use them to draft them into the war. Because watch, when it comes time for the draft, they're gonna have a lot of them immigrants go into war, man. They need the numbers, okay? Because they use Ukraine as a testing ground, and they saw what happened, man. Ukraine was desperate for soldiers because they were dying like crazy, so they were snatching them off the streets. They don't want to have to do that in America, so they're going to do it in a way where, okay, well, we're going to put you in FEMA camps and prisons, and if you're in there, then you belong to us, and you ain't got a choice. You have to go to war. They're going to put a lot of them prisoners in that war, man. And the prisoners are going to be like, all right, cool. We promised freedom after, or whatever the case may be. This is more than likely what's going to happen, man. But it just basically goes to show that you cannot trust these Edomites, man. Confidence in an unfaithful man, which is Trump, is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint, right? I'm getting ready to wrap this up because pretty much the point is made, and I've kind of been all over the place with this lesson. But I just want to show you one or two things, because you know how that's that clip that I showed you where Trump had put tariffs on China, and then they said, "F you, we're gonna produce the goods that we get from you. We're gonna produce them ourselves," right? Which is a very smart move, because America seems to underestimate the intelligence of these other countries, man. But that ain't the first time something like that has happened. Now check this out. I'm gonna show you something, because Mexico kind of did the same thing to America when they had a little trade war thing going on. I'm gonna show you real quick. One sec. Check this out.
Mexico just pulled the best gotcha bitch that I've ever seen in my life. So while Donald Trump had everybody riled up about this Panama Canal becoming America's, Mexico was already putting in a new canal. That's right. And China has been funding it secretly. Mexico is building the canal straight through the country. That makes cargo avoid from going all the way around to the Panama Canal. Now they have a 5-day reduction in shipping time, saving vessels billions of dollars a year and loading up Mexico with a big payday. So it's looking like the president of Mexico is not too concerned about the Gulf of America or the Panama Canal. After all, is she? And thanks to DJT and his little games that he's been playing, I'm sure we won't be included on any of the decision making or the trade deals that are going to happen behind our back. You can thank Donald J. Trump for that, guys.
So these countries, man, they're clever. You know what I mean? Whenever America tries to do something to punish them, they're like, all right, cool. We got another plan in mind. We got another plan in mind to stick the middle finger up to you, right? Let me read this preset real quick. This is the Obadiah, chapter 1, obviously. And I'm gonna read verse 2 through 4 to begin with, and then I'm gonna jump to verse 7. It says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised." So the Edomites have become small among the heathen and despised because the world is realizing that they're nothing but liars, molesters, and genocidal maniacs, right? It says, "The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high," talking about the Edomite, the so-called white man. "The pride of their heart has deceived them, thinking that they are and none else," right? It says, "That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?" So they think America's always going to be great. And now look at them. Make America great again. Yeah, they said, "Who shall bring me down to the ground?" Now they're realizing that their power is dwindling, man. It says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle," America, your symbol is the eagle. It says, "And though thou set thy nest among the stars," which is their weapons, it says, "Thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh." So the Lord is getting ready to bring these Edomites down where they belong, right? Let me quickly read this because I got to rush off to the plantation. I'm literally have to leave in 6 minutes, so I need to get dressed and everything within 6 minutes. It says, "All the men of thy," Obadiah 1 and 7, "all the men of thy confederacy," right? Because all these countries that America used to be cool with, right? "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border." It says, "The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee." So they're all turning on America, right? Which goes into the 10 horns hating the whore. But also these countries that used to do deals with America, you know, when America puts tariffs on them and this and that, you know, tries to make their life hell, hey, they bounce back and give a devastating blow to America, man. So it says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread, these other countries, have laid a wound under thee. So, you know, you got the BRICS, you got a new one right now. What's it called? CRINC or something like that, where they've got a unification with North Korea, Russia, China, India. I forget the exact countries, but there's some of those countries, they all come together. You got Iran, right? Not India, Iran, Slovakia, that's the I. So CRINC is kind of like BRICS, but it's a different kind of alliance where all these countries are coming together against America, man. So they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So these Edomites are through, man. They don't know what they're doing. There's no understanding in them. They don't know how to run the world. They don't know how to run their country righteously. Okay. Let's close it out with what is it? I know it's in Second Ezra's. I believe it's 8. No, I can't find it. Nah. I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, close it out here, man. All right, it's lucky for that. But anyway, hopefully you were edified by this lesson. America is basically a third world country, man. And if it ain't already, it will be, because the Lord says, sit in the dust, O daughter of the Chaldeans, right? Let's read that one more time before I go. It's in verse 1. So it says, come, Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Dust represents confusion. It says, O virgin daughter of Babylon, which is America. It says, sit on the ground, right? And when you sit on the ground, it means you're through, man. Okay, it's representation of just sitting there in hopelessness. Just like you saw the streets of America, and you had them people just laid out on the ground, sat on the ground, just through, right? It says, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, but thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. All right, so on that note, man, I'm gonna close it out here. I'm gonna give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Raka Kwadash. All right, Shalom.